What's up, students? Mr. Ish here, and I am giving you this quick video to talk about keys to success in English 102 with me, Mr. Ish, and this is some solid gold advice based on my almost 10 years of teaching this course or various forms of it. And the other really important thing is I've got a lot of undertakings in life. I do all these little side businesses and side hustles and stuff, and really the keys to success I'm going to talk to you about are pretty much applicable to anything: life, college, work, relationships, whatever. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so these are the 3 actions of successful people. Successful people take responsibility, successful people ask for help, and successful people grind. Okay, these are the 3 things you need to succeed in my class and in life in general. So let's talk about each one of them in turn. Okay, so if you take responsibility, that means you don't try to lay the blame on anyone else. You take responsibility for the things that you can control. Successful people ask for help because they realize that they do not know everything on their own. There are other people out there who know more than them. And successful people grind. Grind is about just getting stuff done. Okay, it means pushing through adversity, hard times, lack of sleep, and just getting done what needs to get done. Okay, so let's look at each of these things a little bit more, and I'm going to give you some examples of stuff students might say when it comes to each of those things. Take responsibility, grind, and whatever the heck the other one was because I forgot. Students who have the right mindset, students who have a failing mindset, and students who have a passing mindset. So when it comes to taking responsibility, student who's going to fail would say something like, the reading was too hard for me to understand. Student who wants to pass is going to say, the reading was tough, so I looked up some reading strategy videos on YouTube. Okay, another example. I couldn't figure out how to set up Google Drive, so I didn't do the assignment. Does that sound like someone who is taking responsibility for their actions, or are they going to try to blame technology for not getting their assignment done? Okay, so a student who wants to pass, I couldn't figure out how Google Drive works, so I typed it in Word and emailed it to myself. There. Okay, student who doesn't take responsibility, says, I missed class, so I don't have the work done, okay? Or I didn't watch the video, so I didn't know how to do the assignment, right? Whatever. Whereas a student who is going to pass says, I missed class, but I checked D2L to keep up with the work. Okay, asking for help. Again, 2 mindsets. Students who fail and students who pass. Let's look at them. Remember, your goal is to have the passing mindset. So, Mr. Ish's rubric is really confusing. I can probably write a good essay without it. Word of warning, I have a really intense rubric, but we're going to use it like every single day of the semester. Okay? So, don't get confused by it. And if you do get confused by it, push through and say something like this. Hey, Mr. Ish, can you explain what this means on the rubric? Okay? So, if you have questions, ask. Failing student, student who wants to fail. I have no idea what they mean by thesis with tension, but I've learned how to write thesis statements before. I'm sure I'll be fine. Classic failing mindset is thinking that because I did okay last time or in the past, I don't need to work hard in the present. Versus, right, someone who's willing to ask for help. Just, hey, Sean, can I see your thesis statement? I don't get what he wants to do, right? Remember, you can ask me for help. You can ask your classmates for help. Everyone will have access to each other's email addresses, and you'll have discussion boards together all the time. So use your classmates as a resource. And then we'll get into the research, and you might say, this EBSCOhost thing is a pain to find sources on. I'll just stick to Google, right? But this is a college-level course, so you got to do college-level research, which requires library databases like EBSCOhost. So someone who's going to pass the course, someone who has a good mindset, is going to say, I'm going to ask a librarian or someone at the Writing Center to help me find good sources. Okay, the last one, grind, right? Remember, grind is about getting stuff done, okay? So a failing attitude would be, no one else is doing their work, I'll just take it easy too. Okay? Say you're in a group project or discussion board, right? Or versus someone who wants to pass is going to say, screw these slackers, I'm getting shit done. Right? Don't let other people's failure bring you down. All right, grind is important when it comes to writing, okay? Because you're going to get writer's block. I get writer's block. Professional writers get writer's block. Published authors get writer's block. You don't want to just say writer's block sucks, I give up. You want to say something like this, I'm going to free write for 20 minutes just like Mr. Ish taught me. Okay, that's a strategy we'll learn this semester. Okay, ways to get past writer's block. Someone who has a failing mindset could say, I'm too tired to make all these revisions Mr. Ish suggested. It's 2 a.m. and I can't write another bit. I'm just going to turn in the crappy draft I have. Okay, versus someone who wants to pass with a successful mindset, who knows that they need to grind to succeed at anything in life, is going to say, time to brew another pot of coffee and get back to work. Okay, let's talk about, I want to share this example for you of grind, okay, and of success. So I am in a lot of Facebook groups about various businesses and stuff like that. Online businesses, online marketing is one of my side hustles. And this was a post that someone shared in that Facebook group, one of them. You don't even know the best part. I was homeless with my 4 kids, left their abusive father, and started my own business while in a shelter. They are my reason to push forward, not my excuse. So if you think you have a good excuse for not getting something done in my class, or for giving up, or for failing instead of succeeding, okay, I want you to remember this woman. Homeless, single mother, 4 kids living in a shelter after escaping an abusive father. And she managed to start her own business. Okay? She didn't see her situation and say, hey, here's an excuse for me to fail. She saw her situation and she said, hey, here's a reason I need to succeed. So if you have something that's holding you back and you want to use it as an excuse to say, hey, Mr. Ish, I'm going to turn this in late, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to give it my all. I want you to remember this lady, okay? If you can come up with an excuse that's better than this lady, then maybe I'll hear it, okay? If you're in a tougher situation than 4 kids, single mother, abusive father, living in shelter, then I'm ready to listen to excuses. But other than that, use them as reasons to succeed. Okay, let's talk about how you're going to get graded in this class, because that's important to success. 65%, that's more than half of your grade, comes from 4 big assignments. Okay, they are the reflection essay, synthesis essay, the persuasive essay, and a presentation. Yes, even though it's an online course, we're going to do a video conference at the end of the semester so you can present to your peers. Since each of these assignments is worth a very big chunk of your grade for the course, you can't skip any of them. If you skip one of these, if you skip even that reflection essay that's worth 10%, that means you're starting with a 90. So even if you get 100% on everything else, which you won't, you're getting a 90. So skipping any of these major assignments probably means you're going to fail the class. Okay, next. 35% of your grade comes from minor assignments. These are things like homework, in-class activities don't really apply because this is an online class, rough drafts, outlines, discussion boards, other little activities, anything like that comes from this 35%, divided among various units. And so what that means is that you cannot afford to skip many of these. Maybe if you miss 1 or 2 little assignments here or there, it's not going to make you fail the class. But it does mean you'll be lacking on knowledge, and if you skip too many of these things, then that's really going to affect your grade. I've seen it make the difference between an A and a B and a C, a C and an F. Okay, so don't get in the habit of skipping these. Okay, late work policy. So this one doesn't matter because we're an online course, okay? But what you need to know is minor assignments cannot be submitted late, okay? Final drafts may be submitted up to 1 week late. You'll get a 10% grade penalty, though. Revision, it's a writing class. Writing you learn by revision, so I have a very generous revision policy. For any of the essay final drafts, you can resubmit, revise the essay, and resubmit it within 1 week of receiving your grade. And then I will regrade it, and your new grade will completely replace the old grade. And I do this because I think writing is about learning to revise and learning to get better. Okay. So your new grade will completely replace the old grade. The only caveat is that you cannot resubmit an assignment that was handed in late. So if you want to make use of this revision policy, you have to submit your stuff on time. Again, this is for final drafts of essays, so that reflection essay, synthesis essay, or persuasive essay. Okay, finally, some important considerations because this is an online class. I know we're sitting at an 11-minute video here, so I may have lost your attention, but tune in because this is important. First, understand the time commitment that you need to succeed in this online class. If this were a face-to-face course, we would meet for 4 hours in class, and you'd be expected to do about 4 to 8 hours of work outside of class. That means for an online class, you are going to be expected to do the same amount of work, but I'm not forcing you to sit in a classroom for 4 hours a week. Okay? So that means you need to look at your schedule and block out 8 to 12 hours of time where you can work on English 102 every week. Okay? A lot of people think, oh, I can, it's an online class, it's going to be easier, it's going to be less work. No, it just means you're sitting in a seat for less time. Okay? Still just as much work. Okay, next, you need to check in every day. It's an online class. Work is due throughout the week, so check D2L early in the week and check it very often. Keep up with your email, with your announcements so you know what we're doing. Okay, finally, take initiative. All right, so be prepared to help yourself because this is an online class, right? We aren't seeing each other face-to-face twice a week or once a week or whatever. So take some initiative. You're having trouble with stuff. Google it. Look on YouTube. Head to the writing center at campus. Whatever. Okay? But that being said, don't hesitate to ask for help. I'm here. I'm your resource. Okay? So send me an email. Get in touch. Give me a call. Don't hesitate to ask for help. But first, make sure you've done your part and attempted to figure out the issue on your own. Okay, so that's it. Those are my keys to success, and I hope that you take them seriously and that you have a very successful semester and life.